Yeah, we're here at James Price Point, or Walmerton, known by the local traditional owners here. And this was the proposed site for this massive gas hub. The port was going to be right here where I stand here right now. And you can see around, there's just this incredible, beautiful red cliffs, beautiful coastline. And right in front of us is the home of the world's largest humpback whale nursery. Sea Shepherd protects whales in the Southern Ocean Whale Sanctuary, and these same whales migrate all the way up past the Western Australian coast. And we found out that they were under threat from a massive gas hub proposed by Woodside and joint venture partners and the Western Australian state government to build the world's largest gas hub with a massive port and jetty right through the middle of the world's largest humpback whale nursery.
I was flying back from Broome via Perth after I retired, and Jeff Hansen came out of the crowd and said, you know, I think Sea Shepherd could help up there. And I thought about it, flying back to Tasmania, and rang him up, and as a result, the Steve Irwin went to the Kimberley coast, and that brought national and international attention to it.
Woodside had put out a survey saying there was very few whales in the area, and on day one we saw over 100 humpbacks, and less than a kilometre off where I stand here right now we saw a mother and calf nursing her young, nurturing her young right here just off where I stand here today. It was clearly that what Woodside had put forward was completely wrong, and that Australians, once they knew about what Woodside and the West Australian government was proposing here, did not want it to go ahead. Our mission really was to come up here and show to the world what we would stand to lose if this gas hub went ahead. Sea Shepherd's come back to Broome a year later. The result is the gas hub's not going ahead. And it's about reconnecting with these people that have fought so hard and to stop this gas hub from going ahead.
So I am Matilda Stevens, but everybody calls me Tilly. I came up here originally as part of the campaign against the gas hub, and fell into the whale survey last year. We survey for 2 hours a day, every morning from 8 until 10, and we have two platforms. I'm standing on the north platform, and then behind us is the south platform. We are basically observing the whales that pass through, recording all of them and any behaviour that we see, and also tracking the ones that we can, often that are in close, to kind of see how they're using the area. So Woodside's data basically said that a very small amount of whales were coming within 8 kilometres of the coast, and at least no cow-calf pairs were coming within 4 kilometres of the coast. I think last year we saw 2,500 whales come within 8 kilometres of the coast, and a large amount coming within 4 kilometres of the coast, including calf-cow pairs. From what I have seen, and I don't know everything about whale behaviour, but I can't comprehend how you could have a massive gas processing precinct and a port that goes, I think they wanted a port that was about 4 k's, and then they wanted to create a 50-kilometre square dead zone from dredging, as well as at least 2,000 shipping movements each year. To me, I don't understand it. I can't comprehend how the whale population wouldn't be severely impacted by those movements and by the presence of that.
Yeah, we've just been out on the boat with Richard COSTIN, and he's an amazing naturalist of this Kimberley area, knows this area like the back of his hand. And within only 20 minutes of being out in the water, we saw a mother and a calf and an escort, humpback whales, and they made a beeline, come over to the boat to check us out.
The Kimberley coast has developed a real international reputation as being one of the global hotspots for the marine environment here. And I think that as a community, Australia really needs to try and protect this special place, not only for us but also into the future for the international community and people who want to come and see basically a pristine environment.
That Barnett, he's a loner. He doesn't own the country, nor does the government. It's belonged to us, the original people. It's our country, and it's the situation now. They came and they invade our country. They've invaded us.
Philip, as a custodian, you can see when he's talking about his country, the love that he has, the passion he has, and the determination to make sure that this place stays, not only for his people, but for all of Australians. And he is very vocal in saying that this country is for everyone. It's not just for a handful of mining companies, or not just for Barnett.
Look, they've sent Australian troopers to get rid of dictators. Look at our country now. You got Barnett, who's a little dictator in Western Australian government, a dictator. They should just get rid of him, because what he's doing is wrong, because it's a wrong thing that Australia has sent people to shoot dictators, and you get dictatorship in your own country.
I think in a world where a lot of us are becoming complacent, to walk around the streets of Broome and meet a lot of the locals, these people are doctors, lawyers, mums, dads, teachers, and they've never been activists and never had to do anything to step out of their comfort zone. But so much of the Broome community has rallied to fight against this massive environmentally destructive gas hub, and it's really humbling to see in today's world that, no matter what the obstacles, no matter how government-backed your adversaries are, that if people unite and people stand together and they really care and they're passionate about their own backyard and their own wilderness areas, that they can stop these tyrants from coming in and destroying these places. And it's been really humbling to meet these people that are really their future generations' heroes.
Well, last time I saw you guys up on the Steve Irwin off James Price Point, and amazingly all those whales came in. I think it was something like 600 over 3 days, and yet the company and the government had said very few whales ever passed through that area. Again, I'm stunned by the fact that politicians and a lot of business leaders don't see the economic value, in quotes, of these great wilderness areas, whether they be land areas or marine areas. Because the Kimberley is one of the last 5 remaining true wilderness areas on Earth, its value as a wilderness area, economic value, goes up and up and up.
Now we go into places of man-made places that we cherish, like the the Vatican and the Sistine Chapel and places like that. Yeah, here we are in this land which is, it's ancient. It's 130 million year old dinosaur footprints, and it is one of the last untouched wilderness areas left on the planet that we, humanity, rely on for our very survival.
I think increasingly what's happening now in all these environmental issues, and certainly obviously the sea shepherd does this, instead of trying to lobby quietly through the back corridors of political power, much more forward action where you ignore the politicians and you go straight to the community. And basically I think what environmental activists are doing is saying to politicians, you're irrelevant. We don't really care about you. But I think the great news out of this for the general community is we have the power. Politicians don't any longer.
It's a great breakthrough. I'm very aware that you win environmental battles to fight them again, though. You lose them and you lose them forever. So there will be other threats to the Kimberley coast. There'll be other people who want to turn that resource-rich area into an industrial zone rather than to keep it as one of the great wild and cultural precincts on the planet with this ancient living culture intact. What a priceless asset that is for everybody in the world. But that's going to continue to test us. What the people know in the future who are campaigning to keep the Kimberley as it is, they can win. The people of Broome, the people of the Kimberley, the wider Kimberley, have been part of a campaign which succeeded in turning the invader out, if you like. And it's a point of giving good spirit and good heart, not to just people in the Kimberley, but to people fighting for the environment right around the country and beyond.